managed to hold on and they get
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard.
Vacations are fun, but they don't beat the sights and sounds of Saturday night short track racing in the USA. The Outlaws are at the gate and ready to rumble once again. The penultimate round awaits. Swinging by the Peach State for tonight's action, hello, and welcome to another edition of the Bootleg Racing League on the Global SimRacing channel and iRacing Live. Sean Ambrose here along with Bill Soupson high up in the press box to bring you all the action tonight. Back in the lovely TV production truck for GSRC is the hardest working man in Sim Motorsports broadcasting, the one, the only, Joe Peak, twisting and tweaking the dials for us tonight, and of course, the Ansel Adams of iRacing, our much sought after camera guru, Dougie Beard. Well, Soup, a couple weeks ago, we had a real barn burner from Old Sobo, a newcomer to the league, competing in his first season here in the Bootleg Racing League, found victory lane. John Hine would wrestle the lead away with 83 laps to go, but a green-white checker to finish provided plenty of drama for our viewers. Philip Temples charged to the front with 1 to go, but found trouble off of turn 4, and John Hines snatched his first victory away from the jaws of defeat. Plenty left to fight for with 2 to go, but first we have to get through Lanier National Speedway to get to Florida. Sue, tell us a little bit about it, my friend.
There, you're looking at it right there. If you're an old-time iRacer and you don't know about Lanier, then you must really hate oval racing. This is one of the original 3 tracks where newbies cut their teeth behind the wheel of a legend car, trying to figure out how those fast guys got the car to turn in so quickly. In the real world, it's located in Brazelton, Georgia. The track opened in 1982 as a dirt track, paved a few years later. But I think iRacing's latest build, if I'm not mistaken, lets members step back in time and race this place without asphalt. But tonight, the 3/8 of a mile track is paved and the corners are banked at 8 degrees. Now, when giving a track description, I always try to give you, the viewers, the stories that only the locals know. You know, at Southern National, I told you all about the ghost of Honey the Dancing Bear that from the great beyond still swats hot dogs out of the hands of unsuspecting patrons. And at Langley, I told you about the truth, Neil Armstrong's and Buzz Aldrin's moonwalking film footage. But my bosses at GSRC have requested, with threat of a muted mic, I would like to add, that I stick to the more traditional track details. So unfortunately, I won't be able to relate to you how the tragic death of Marge Flanders that resulted from a poorly aimed t-shirt cannon is intertwined with this place. Instead, for my own job security, I'll simply ask our director to cue up the video so we can take a lap around Lanier.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. My name is Brian Yazek and I'll be taking you for a spin around Lanier Raceway in the GSRC SK Modified. Going into turn 3, you're going to be finding the yellow line right here on the bottom, but not try to get too much into the gas. Just let that rear of the car step out, right back into the corners, down to the yellow line again. You'll notice from this lap guide that you are pretty much always constantly turning. So it's going to be interesting to see who can save that right front tire and not abuse it too early so they can have something for the end of the race. Once again, find the yellow line, back out into the middle of the corner, right back onto the brakes, back to the yellow line. You can kind of run a little bit up off the yellow line, but not too much because there's not a whole lot of banking up on the top side of the track to save you in case you get a little squirrely. So, back down into turns 3 and 4 one more time, kind of split the seam right here, find the yellow line, and you have just completed 4 very quick laps around Lanier Raceway. Going to be a great race, and the winner is going to be the one who decides that they wanted to save their right front tire the most. This has been your lap guide around Lanier Raceway. I'm Brian Yazek.
That is a recorded lap around Lanier National Speedway, or Lanier Raceplex, however you want to refer to it. It is currently Lanier Raceplex, to be fair, and they are open for business and racing karts, high-performance go-karts there right now. But to get an idea what the track is like right now, we've got a chance to talk to Donnie Moore, our old friend Donnie Moore, coming up. Take a quick chat with us. We've talked to him many times, a good friend to the show here over the years. Donnie, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, Sean. How are you?
Excellent, sir. You're got that number 26 SK Modified Irwin Tool sponsored machine ready to go this evening.
Ready to go.
Well, sir, what's the track like? What have the conditions been tonight like in the street stocks and the trucks?
Yeah, a little loose track. If you get in there too aggressive, it's going to definitely going to be loose. It's too bad we don't have a championship to talk about. Really, last week, boy, not a lot of luck last week. I had a lot of things going on. I got in a wreck there and got it was really a lot of damage, and I rolled into the pits without having my fast repair on, and it was 30 minutes, and boy, that was the end of that title shot.
Yeah, well, Donnie, is it mathematic? I mean, do we mathematically know you can't win this thing? I mean, you're 12 points back right now, I think it is. Is there an outside chance for you?
It doesn't look good, Sean.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. We'll just try to have fun here the last couple of races.
You know what? Hey, listen, Donnie, we were talking about this before we got started with the broadcast. This has been a great season. I mean, you and JR really slugged it out for most of this season. Really, if it wasn't for just a little bit of bad luck this weekend, I think we'd still be talking about a 2 to 3 point gap.
Yeah, well, we aren't, so on to next year. Yeah. Hey, boy,
okay.
our thoughts go out to the people in Florida there. I hope everything turns out great for them.
Yeah, same here. Donnie, listen, go out and get a win tonight, all right? That's all you can do at this point. Race for wins and then go get him again in New Smyrna next week.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
All right, Donnie Moore, we thank you, buddy, and my best to you this evening. I hope you go out there and get a win. Soup, Donnie's always a good interview. Tough luck there a couple weeks ago, but let's talk about those point standings right now.
A little bit of half reality there, half modesty on the part of Donnie Moore. You know, page 17 of the GSRC Commentator's Handbook says try to add drama into the broadcast whenever possible. So with that in mind, I'm going to say that the 12-point lead that J.R. Shepherd had is reachable. Sure, they're on the plus side, if you're somebody chasing them, there are no drop races in this series. So if something bad were to happen, that would be some big points for Donnie Moore to pick up there. Look at that. The series organizer, Lowell Jewell, he's a past champion. It's been a while since he's worn the crown, only 29 back in third place. Jeff Sharp, a veteran of the series, in fourth. And how about this guy, the newcomer? Is it John Hine? Is that how we're pronouncing that name?
That's it, Sue. John Hine, yes.
Picked up a win last time. Always great. I watched that one and said, hey, how about a first-time winner here on Bootleg? Always great to see that. Congratulations to him as he sits in fifth.
Yeah, Soup, listen, like I said to Donnie, it's been a great points chase this season, and it's a shame that he ran into that luck a couple weeks ago, but hey, all you can do at this point is just keep racing. Donnie intends to, and that battle back there between Jeff Sharp and John Hine, I'm really curious to see how they race each other this evening. It should be fun. John, of course, having to start a little bit further back in the field, but Soup, I'll let you talk about that now because we've introduced the track, we've talked to a driver, and we've reviewed those point standings. Why don't you talk to us about the details of the race?
For longtime viewers of the Bootleg series, this will be old hat, but for first-time viewers, listen up. Soup will preach the gospel here as we talk about the race details. John talked about it's round 10 of 11. One more to go as we go down into Florida, and our best to all the people in Florida in the real world who are having issues down there. 100 laps tonight. Now, you're not going to see any pit stops as there's enough fuel. Now, Sean, you grew up at a short track. When Daddy was racing, did he ever have to make pit stops?
Oh, yes, sir. On long races, you generally get up around that 150-mile mark. It certainly depends on tire compound and how aggressive the surface is. But, yeah, they would happen from time to time.
Not going to happen tonight. If you come in, you got to race on the rubber that you brung. We're going to invert the grid. The top 10 are going to be inverted based on how they finished last time out. And, of course, we talked about the no tire way. Here's something to keep in mind. I think one of the most significant things that's not on that details, we can bring that down now as we can show what it's like here on a beautiful September night here in Georgia. And, Sean, one of the things that I think is really important is the even odd situations when the yellow flags come out. It's double restarts here, and it's kind of... It reminds me of the old song, whether you're racing to Scotland or the checker flag. You take the high road, I'll take the low road, and I'll be to Scotland, or in this case, the finish line before you. Boy, you really want the inside line here on these short tracks, don't you?
Well, you know, it's funny. We have seen a few places, Sobo being one of them, a couple weeks ago, where you could, when I say Sobo, folks, for those who are watching for the first time, South Boston, Virginia is where we were last time.
Yeah.
Old Sobo there, they were actually able to make an aggressive move from the top on a restart. So not always predictable down on the bottom, but here at Lanier, because of the banking on this track, it's very, very flat. The speed is inside here, and I do think that's where you're going to see most of these guys try and take advantages from that inside line when we get started. And of course, it's up to you starting in the outside to find a spot to get that car in, and that's going to be tough. And speaking of finding spots to get in and being aggressive, it's sad to report we do have a penalty from the last race. It's been the season's been pretty much penalty free, but Philip Temples picks up a one-race suspension suit for being a little over-aggressive in that last race a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll tell you, here in the Bootleg Racing series, here in this Outlaw Modified series, they'll slap your hand, they'll warn you a little bit, but when they've had enough of you, you get hit hard. A penalty with no drop races, that's costly. That hurts.
It really does. And Phil was having a great season. He was in contention to win that race a couple weeks ago, and that the suspension not good. But the good news is he'll be here for the finale. in 1 week. Now, just a few things to remember. The second annual champion shootout is coming up on September 23rd.
Boy.
They've got details at their website, bootlegracingleague.com, and that'll be coming up real soon. Another thing, Soup, that I don't even know if you're aware of this, but they're bringing back the old Grand National Series, making its return on October 20th. They're going to be running on Friday nights with the Grand National Series, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, it's not a broadcasted series, but it is something they'll be running in the winter between October and March. So, looking forward to seeing the Bootleg Racing League get into some fendered cars there with some horsepower.
And these Saturday night events, we only cover the last event here of what they have going on, the Outlaw Modified Series. But Sean, they do 2 other races, don't they, earlier on?
Yeah, they did. And so we've gotten some laps in already here at Lanier this evening. And Brian Dean was your winner in the street stocks. That's the first event of the evening. And Brian had a great race there. No caution flags in that one. And then they followed that up with a truck race. And Matt Hoos won the truck race. And, well, there wasn't a caution flag in that one either. So
I don't. That always doesn't mean, that's always not an omen of what's to come. Sometimes if they're clean of those first 2 races, it's like they're saving them up for us.
Yeah. I hope not. One of the things about Lanier is when you look down at that track surface, you see 4 lanes. Okay, that's 4 lanes of space to work with. That doesn't mean you'll be racing in all 4 lanes. I really think the one they're going to be talking about is that one down there on the bottom, right near that yellow dotted line. That being said, that yellow dotted line is not out of bounds, Soup. You can race down there below that yellow line, and honestly, in a fight, you can get a little grip down there on the apron off of one of these turns. Now, I don't know if that's where you're going to find the best speed, but if you're fighting with somebody wheel to wheel, not off limits down there.
Now, Sean, I've spent a ton of time on this track, but what I talked about in my track description, it's all been in those really light legend cars. What's the tire wear like out here? Is this a place where you can save your stuff and maybe have something for the final 20 laps when it's time to boogie?
Well, Soup, as with most flat tracks like your Indianapolis Motor Speedways, you think about the legendary flat tracks, Lanier, not much different in the fact that you can wear out the right rear if you try to drive it off the right rear for most of the race. If you drive it too hard, they will give up on you, especially the right rear. And you're going to need that right rear tire with about 10 to 15 laps to go. So saving it up just a bit, taking care of the car, really going to be well advised to do that. Of course, and we've seen drivers who like to use the concrete there occasionally. Not much of a factor here at Lanier because the walls don't come up quite as quick as they do at other tracks. Again, this is a pretty big racing surface to work with. I hope that sometime about lap 60 or 70, we maybe start to see a second groove come in. And if we happen to get a restart or 2, maybe we'll see some classic battles from that upper groove.
We got a baker's dozen full of drivers here tonight. 13 drivers showing up to Lanier. Sean, we talked about the penalty to Temples. That's surprising that there aren't more penalties based on the nature of the beast of this type of racing, where the chrome horn can be such a factor. And of course, when I talk chrome horn, I'm not talking about Chuck Mangione. It's an actual racing technique.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. I like that. We've got 2 races to go. Okay, tonight, I think you'll see guys pushing the limit. I mean, we have several drivers in this field, a lot of them, to be frank, that have never won here in the Bootleg Racing League. This could be anybody's race tonight. John Hine, can the guy repeat? He's going to have to do it from 10th or somewhere thereabouts. So we're about to see. I think it's safe to call the grid now. So let's pull them up.
Yeah, this is where I usually say qualifying is done, but again, like we talked about, there is no qualifying here. It's all based on they inverse the top 10 from last time out. So, Sean, let's take them 2 at a time. Sitting up on the front row, it is the former champion, Lowell Jewell. He's going to be inside of Dustin Powers.
Row 2, going to be Brian Dean, already got a win tonight, and Jeff Sharp.
The Jolly Roger, J.R. Shepard, back there in 5th position. Doesn't have far to go to get to the front. Outside him is going to be the winner last time out from South Boston, John Hine.
All right, row 4, Jeff Kendrick and John Holcomb in the Lawrence Towing SK Modified.
Number 9 goes to our pre-race interview, Donnie Moore. He's going to be inside of David Loomis.
Number 11. I'm sorry. 11.
That's money in the jar, buddy.
Yeah, 11th in the 21. It's going to be Matt Hoos and J.J. Garrett starting 12.
A little bit of a Homer Simpson you had there. And back there in the number 13th, that is Lucas Stinziano.
Yes, our good friend Lucas Stinziano back with us this evening. Always good to see him on the grid.
100 laps here at Lanier under the lights in Georgia. Hopefully this is going to be the night that the lights stay on in Georgia. We don't want to have that. First of all, go ahead.
You stole my thunder on that one. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's great.
Okay, well, I've referenced Chuck Mangione in there, and I don't know who sang "The Nights the Light Go Out" in Georgia, but I think I got my quota in for bizarre references. We are going 100 laps here, 200 corners if you want to consider them 1 and 2 as, or 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 is one corner. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler hidey-hole. Old Jewel jumps out in front. And it is Dustin Powers jumping into second.
Nice break by Lowell Jewell there, though, to lead this field around a complete lap 1 suit.
So far, so good as they make their way around. It is still, yep, we're still okay as we have that familiar number. I haven't seen him out in front much. The familiar number 5 leading the way, dropping into second position. That is done. Now look at the battle back there for third. That's Powers on the inside. Taking a look on the high side was Jeff Sharp. Nothing going on. But Sean back for 5th. A nice battle.
Very nice battle. There's right there Jeff Kendrick and Jeff Sharp going door to door, or really Nerf bar to Nerf bar soup as they come off the turn. Kendrick not giving up at all. Look at Donnie Moore rolling in right behind him. Got that chrome horn right back up there on the bumper of Kendrick.
Boy, trying to make that high side work, and now he is stuck on top, looking for a play. Come in and let me play a little bit as he's stuck on the top side.
That's all right. Jeff Sharp, he's one of those drivers that doesn't mind being up there, Soup. In fact, he'll stay committed to it. In fact, he might be taking a run at that now. Look him get up next to Donnie Moore and then lose a little bit, but he still looks pretty strong up there.
The front stays pretty much copacetic as they are. It is the poor driver in that number 77, 73 machine trying to drop down in there. Jeff Sharp, he's got John Hine underneath him and going to make no room. Is Matt Hoos? Go, Sean.
Yeah, no, up front, Brian Dean makes a move on Lowell Jewell, and J.R. Shepard gets now under him. J.R. Shepard up to second, passing Lowell there.
The number 23 McCarr out in front as Jewell has fallen back into 4th position.
Yeah, got stuck up there on that top side, couldn't fight from up there. That gives it up to Dustin Powers. Well, Brian Dean at the front of the field here. Man, he's been hot tonight at Lanier.
Yeah.
Could we get another first-time winner here tonight?
My goodness, he's got the multi-time champion behind him. He's just got to be perfect.
Yeah, no
Trying to
pressure.
find a spot. Yeah, no kidding.
No pressure.
And with 89 laps to go, that's a tall order to keep that guy behind him. Actually, he could probably use a yellow flag right now and see if maybe Shepard can move to the top side and see if he can get a little help from maybe Dustin Power getting underneath him. Good battle up front. Look at the Jolly Roger. He's stalking him, trying to find a way.
Yeah, I like what Brian's doing, though. I mean, he's really... he's got a decent defensive line. Not an overly defensive line, but it's just enough to keep breaking the momentum.
Uh-oh.
And then I just need to shut my mouth there.
Yeah, he's a little high off of 4, and he opened the door. And Junk Rubber Shepard jumped right in there, took that spot. Give him credit for leading lap number 14. We got a smoker up ahead. Looks like Matt Hoos has had some issues.
Yeah, Matt had contact coming out of 4. He had contact with Kendrick. The yellow does not come out, but it pops Matt's motor. We've got a replay of it. Oh, that's the aftermath there. We'll get a replay of it here right now. Coming out of turn 4, you'll see Kendrick make contact with Hoos. Here on the inside, Kendrick drops down, gets that wheel on the rear bumper, and they both go around Both suffer damage. Both have to pit as a result of that.
Sean, you saw the engine go for boost. Was that a result of just banging it into the wall, do you think? Or is that RPMs when the car starts spinning?
No, I think he hit that inside retaining wall pretty hard there, and that's what popped the motor on him.
They do have fast repairs, but that's gonna put them, well, at least 3 laps down, as Hendrick and Hoos are both in there.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and JJ Garrett actually never got started in this race.
So only a dozen drivers took the green flag. 10 of them are still out there racing right now. The last one being Lucas Stinziano back there in that 10th spot. Well,
Donnie Moore.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Donnie Moore making a move back here on Dustin Powers. He gets the position here, going into the turn.
Powers in the 25, and now he's got a chance. Look at John Holcomb dive that car in deep. And I think getting the Dustin Powers probably got a little bit of the walls that time as Powers now drops back. Meanwhile, up in front, it is Shepard running away with it. About 7 seconds on Den.
Yeah, and back here in the field, Dustin Powers was struggling, and just behind him, even more of a struggle, it's the 75 of John Hine. He was out of shape right next to him.
Yeah, Hine took that car in very, very deep into the corner. Thought he was going to get in the back of Powers. Hine racing in 6th, Loomis in 7th. Lowell Jewell, he started on the pole, has fallen back to 8th position, is under pressure right now from Jeff Sharp.
Soup, the lights are still on in Georgia. By the way, that song written by the great Bobby Russell, produced by Snuff Garrett. I know you remember Snuff Garrett.
Of course. Snuff Garrett.
Everybody remembers Snuff Garrett. I wonder if that's a distant relative of JJ Garrett in this race.
His friends call him Snuffy.
Wow, JR, man, is off to another one of those runs that you just kind of, you scratch your head and go, boy, he's hooked up at this track too, isn't he? Just seems to have a really, really smooth line around this track right now, and you know what? This line he's running is not coming at a cost at all. He's doing nothing but just taking care of the tires, not overdriving the car, having a real clean trip around. You see Brian Dean back there, the gap just over a second. That, to Dean's credit, he's doing a good job. He's keeping him at maybe a long arm's length, but he's certainly not letting him get away. It's the rest of the field I'm a bit worried about. They've spread out quite a bit, Soup. 6.5 seconds to the rear with Lucas Stinziano in the last position. I'm starting to wonder if we stay green, are we in a situation right now where JR actually may get into the field and start lapping them?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. In this series, you're not going to see the leader run away with it. He'll open up about a second lead, and that's all he really needs. If he starts to distance that up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, it really is wasting his rubber, because one yellow flag and all that effort is gone, and all the rubber that you use to open up that lead disappears as well. So he's happy right now, 1.1 second ahead of the nearest competitor, unless it happens what Sean talked about, when they start to get into traffic. And I can report that Jeff Kendrick is back out on track, so we have 11 cars out on the asphalt right now.
Boy, and I'm wondering if Matt Hoos made the same error that Donnie Moore talked about earlier about not having the repairs checked, and he's sitting in the pit with a long
got a spinner. John Holcomb has lost it in the 69 machine.
Ooh.
He's around, but
he's below the racing line.
Well, that's one reason we can stay green, is he spun right out of the racing line.
Here comes JR. JR gets right past him there. We're going to go to the replay here. John's going to come out of the turn. It looks like he's just going to lose it, Soup.
You can see him right there in the 69 machine. Aptly numbered for a car that's spinning around all the time. That way his number's always right, no matter how you look at it.
That's true. And, you know, when he got the car turned around, he came right back out in front of John. John came right back out in front of JR. Oh, battle with Loomis on the screen here. Soup, I'm sorry.
Loomis on the inside. That's the 75 car of John Hine trying to make a move on the outside. The black with the yellow numbers trying to find a way around. This is a battle for 5th position. They're coming up on Powers as well.
Yeah, we've seen Loomis be awful fast too, and tonight he does look like he's a bit hooked up here. The Whiskey River SK Modified got quite a run here, going now at Dustin Powers. Looks to maybe try and sneak in under him.
Yeah, I think Powers is in trouble. I think he might be the guy slowing down the train back there. Davis Loomis has to be patient. It's kind of like waiting for hair conditioner work while you're in the shower. You just got to wait. It's tough. You got to be patient. But eventually you can get it done. And right now, he's trying to find a way on the inside. Not going to get there yet. Oh, and now he gets loose.
Oh boy! Oh, and he comes right back up next to Jeff Sharp. You're watching this from Dustin Powers' rear camera view here. You see him sliding all over the place back there. The 75 prevails though, as Dustin Powers continues to struggle just a bit here.
Well, no rest for the weary as Dustin Powers says, all right, that guy's gone, but here comes John Hine now in the 75 looking to get underneath. And I think this time he has a shot there, side by side. They touch wheels, they bump. That forces Hine down to the inside. On the top side is Powers. That car is stuck up there. The 25 is squiggly. He's going to be loose. I think that he's going to lose at least one position. Now let's see if Loomis can get in there in the 91.
Yeah,
oh my, Powers can't get the car down.
I think he's made the right rear angry. He's having a lot of trouble getting off the corners. But John Hine now starting to kind of get things going in the right direction here as we close in on the halfway point of this race. Hine begins to make his charge towards the podium.
Oh, that 25 out there. It's kind of like an aging athlete. When time has come, it's come. And the 25, it's Willie Mays past his prime. It might be Tom Brady past his prime right now as that car has given up. Oh! John Holcomb in the wall hard. Is that recent? Nope, I guess not. Sorry, I guess I had to replay back. Holcomb has hit the wall twice, but that one doesn't matter. Sorry about that.
Surprised to see John struggling on a track like this. He's been good here before, and to see him struggle, a little bit of a concern tonight. That's tough. Sometimes, some nights you got it, some nights you don't see it.
One lap down right now. Okay, let's go ahead and look at second position. And we have Donnie Moore. He's a-coming. Back by only half a second.
He's starting to work on it just a bit. He's chipping away lap after lap after lap. These two only separated right now by less than a half a second. And, well, I'll tell you what, Donnie reels in a couple more really good laps. He was just a couple of tenths better that last time. If he can keep doing that, he may have a chance to get a run at Brian Dean. The lead, though, is really starting to open up. Whereas Dean was just over a second back before. It's now gone to 2 seconds, but JR got some traffic to contend with up in front of him as Jeff Kendrick is now in his windshield.
As we ride on board with Donnie Moore right now, looking up at Dean. That interval is just under half a second. Boy, Sean, we are past the halfway mark. The laps are ticking off.
Boy, they really are. And, we've had a couple of close calls where we thought we might see that caution flag, but it hasn't happened. I'm sure the rest of this field would not mind a chance at another run at JR, and the only way we're going to get it is with a caution flag. Honestly, the cars are really, really spread out on track.
Yep.
Someone's going to have to make a pretty good mistake at this point for us to get one.
Especially since Powers has fallen back. Once, in fact, we can look back at Powers in 7th position right now. Maybe we can cut away from the battle we were looking at there. This is Stinziano trying to make a move on Powers. And there's a Lowell Jewell back there as well. This is a battle for 7th.
Really surprised at how far Lowell Jewell fell off in the air. Oh, I'm sorry. Go to Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore making a move for second. Gets under Brian Dean going into turn 3 soup. He completes the pass and across the line. He's up to second.
Man, he got that made faster. Let's look at this again. As you can see, Donnie Moore coming in. He gets a good run, then he dives that car in deeper than Confucius in a submarine, gets that car, and they go side by side, and that's all she wrote.
Wow.
Moore up to second, Dean back now into third.
All right, so Donnie Moore's got some clean track in front of him. Can he make a run at J.R. Shepherd? The laps, like you said, Super, just ticking away right now. JR's got now, again, he's got clean track in front of him for a while after he completed that pass on Kendrick. Donnie Moore's got a chase. He's going to have to get on it. It's the only chance he's got.
Shepherd has got around Kendrick, and Sean talked about it, clean lap in front. Oh, and look at, that
Loomis.
was, John Hine had some issues.
Yeah, let's look at it on the replay, Super. It looks like Hine was in a bit of a battle there with Loomis.
And they touched.
They're going to come together right here, yeah.
Well, we haven't had a yellow flag, not from lack of trying. These guys have been bumping and banging. They just managed to keep the car straight.
Well, Hine really loses out on that. He was doing well, making progress, and now he's going to lose those couple of spots and drop back. Hine running an American Red Cross, easy for me to say, American Red Cross paint scheme this evening, trying to support all the hurricane victims.
So with Moore getting around Dean, that moves Loomis now up into fourth position, but here comes Jeff Sharp one more time, looking to see if he can get a spot.
You know,
Hine back in sixth. How about Lucas Stinziano, Sean, quietly racing in seventh?
Yeah, Lucas having a solid run, honestly. I mean, he's up 6 spots, Sue. He started at the back of the pack, and, so far, not so bad. I'm a little worried, though, here about what I'm seeing, because J.R. Shepherd is about to find a whole bunch of traffic. You know, those guys at the back of the field were doing all that scrapping and racing together. Well, what has it done? It's now brought them in closer to J.R. Shepherd. He is now pulling up on Dustin Powers. Not far to go here before he catches Dustin, who we saw struggling earlier, Sue.
And he's coming up on some guys that are not just racing out there. They are fighting. So Shepherd's going to get into a war that has nothing to do with him right now. And of course, poor Dustin Powers, another car that had started so well, started in second position, has fallen back to ninth. Front row has not fared so well, as Lowell Jewell started on the pole, racing in eighth. Dustin Powers started just outside of him in ninth, and about to go a lap down.
You know, I talked about Donnie Moore maybe being able to take a run at J.R. Shepherd. Soup, it's been 12 laps since I said that, and there's been no movement at all. Donnie still sits just under 4 seconds back and still has Jeff Kendrick in between him and our leader, J.R. Shepherd. That looks like any real hope is starting to fade quickly.
But how about it? Give some credit to Brian Dean. Dean lost that position for second. He's been able to hang on right on the tail of Donnie Moore. If Moore makes one mistake, and that could happen as he comes up on the lapped car of Jeff Kendrick. That's Kendrick out in front. That car doesn't matter. The car you're looking at, the 1/3 in line is Dean. There goes Moore underneath. Kendrick going to give him lots of room.
Yeah, great play by Kendrick there. I mean, great play to let Donnie come on through. Let him do it cleanly. Let Brian Dean do the same. Soup, I don't think that position's decided. Dean might be saving up just a bit here after driving it kind of hard. He may have backed off just enough to keep him close and maybe make a last five lap effort at him here at the end.
J.R. Shepherd out there making the commentator a liar. I said you wouldn't see him open up a big lead. Well, he's opened it up to 4 seconds. That should give him plenty of cushion to negotiate the cars he's coming up on. He's already been able to get around Dustin Power, put him a lap down. He's coming up on the back of a nice battle going on between Stinziano in the 27, Lowell Jewell back there in the familiar number 5. And those two drivers not that far behind John Hine.
Stinziano got a little bit loose coming through the turn, and he was dirt tracking it there for a second.
Yeah, he really closed up on the back of Hine there, but he's able to get it woed up. Lowell Jewell racing with one eye ahead and one eye behind as the... Sean, I've covered enough of these. I don't ever think I remember somebody lapping the field like this right now.
Well, I don't know if we've ever
You
had
got to have a green flag run all the way through, don't you?
Yeah, you really need a little bit of help for that to happen. I don't think we've ever had the entire field lap. I'm not even so sure we're going to get it tonight here, because I think at some point JR are going to back off a little bit here and play it safe. That's a lot of traffic in front of him. That's too much. That's more of a risk than I'd want to take with only 15 laps to go.
And with only 15 laps to go, what time is it, Sean?
Soup, it is time to boogie, baby. Let's get this party going in the right direction to the checkered flag.
And some guys ready to start dancing as we have a pretty good battle. Fourth position, David Loomis trying to hold off Jeff Sharp. Sharp is all over him. John Hine back behind them. Stinziano, and then on Stinziano like a postage stamp is Lowell Jewell. I guess happy to watch the whole thing happen as J.R. Shepard back there just comfortable now with a 4-second lead.
He does not have to push. I can say it comfortably here, Soup. I think he's got plenty of time to sit right where he's at and just keep pace with the back of the field, unless he just feels like he's got to jump and try and take those positions. I just don't think he has to.
We look at Sharp right now, trying to find a way around Loomis. Looking high, looking low. Might need to give a little encouragement there to get Loomis out of the way. Sharp also being challenged by John Hine back there in 6th, coming off his first win of the season last time out in South Boston. Racing back there in the 75 machine.
Yeah, Soup, and as you look at the window right there, you can see all the rubber down low on the track. It's just, just behind him, Jeff Sharp going to get tapped by John Hine. Hine got in really, really hot into the turn, Soup.
Oh, and maybe a little extra tap there. That should bring out the yellow, boy. I would think. As Hine gets turned, and then Lowell Jewell gets a little bit of his bumper into him. I think Lowell's going to be okay. Well, we got 90 laps down before we finally brought out the yellow flag. That should give us enough time to bring the green back out, Sean. But all of J.R. Shepard's lead, poof.
Poof is right. Now, here's what happened. You're going to see Hine's going to lose momentum as we watch the replay. When he loses that momentum, Stinziano looks to make a move down low, and then he'll get a little bit of that left rear of Hine. Hine will then take the contact from Lowell Jewell, sending him up into the wall. And boy, John, it's a precarious race for him. He had a really, really good run and then got into trouble a couple times. That one, unfortunately, results in the caution.
Okay, Sean, let's look at the car in front right now. That is the 98 machine. Now, right behind him is the 25 car of Dustin Power. We didn't talk about it in the race details, but if memory serves, Lucky Dog?
Yeah, Dustin's going to get this. Dustin's going to get this.
Get out of the way.
Lowell Jewell up in race control and driving the car. Just came on and advised him for the wave around.
My goodness, Lowell Jewell multitasking out there. And cooking a souffle at the same time.
Heard that was a bacon souffle he was doing.
That's how they make them in Kentucky. All right. So I think we'll go green here with probably 5 to go. Let's set the stage for it. We expect J.R. Shepard to be on the inside. Then Donnie Moore. We talked about it in the pre-race show. Where are you going to fall in? He has the unlucky position of being in the even number, so he'll be outside.
You know, Sue, 2 weeks ago, it came down to a green-white checker finish. We'll start with, I think, maybe one more lap than we got to start with a couple weeks ago, as the lights just went out on the pace car. But man, this is going to be an exciting finish, folks. Hold on to your seats.
Well, with lap times at just under 13 seconds, it won't be long to wrap up to get in these final 4 laps. The lights are off the pace car. You have the multi-time champion, J.R. Shepard, on the inside. Gets a great jump. Donnie Moore fighting back for all he's worth. Not going to be able to do it. But how much rubber did JR use up to build up that 4-second lead? Was Donnie Moore saving a little bit? Does he have anything for the multi-time champion? They work through 4 right now. They come across the line, and there will be 3 to go. J.R. Shepard out in front, trying to be perfect, trying to hit his marks right now. Donnie Moore looking for any way around, drives the car in really hot, gets a little bit loose behind him, 2 to go. Moore looking for any way to do it. Shepard starting to distance himself, back behind him. It is Dean in third, Sharp in fourth, rounding out your top 5, it's Loomis. But right now, crossing the finish line, it is J.R. Shepard, it is the white flag lap. If Moore has anything for him, he's got to do it now. It's about a 2-car length lead as they go into 3. Moore dives it in hot, but he won't have anything on the exit. Give the win to J.R. Shepard. Second place goes to Donnie Moore. Brian Dean, Jeff Sharp, and David Loomis go 3, 4, and 5.
Wow. Great run there by J.R. Shepard. It all started with that restart, Soup. He really got on the hammer quick.
As the fireworks go off, the drivers gave us some fireworks there at the end as we had a 4-lap shootout. And J.R. Shepard gets the best of it, and that's going to make his points lead pretty much insurmountable. Right now, what we're going to do here on the Global Sim Racing channel is take a short break, but we will be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and then put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Bootleg Racing Leagues. Outlaw 100 from Lanier in the 2017 Outlaw Modified Summer Series, round number 10 of 11. Well, we were green for the first 90 laps, then the yellow came out, and that gave us a nice 4-lap shootout at the end, where we saw J.R. Shepard come home 0.3 of a second ahead of his rival in the point standings, Donnie Moore. Brian Dean, Jeff Sharp, and David Loomis round out your top 5. Your next 5 went to, of course, former champion Lowell Jewell. Lucas Denziano started in 13th position, up 6 spots to come home in 7th. Dustin Powers, John Holcomb, and John Hine round out your top 10. And Sean, it seems wrong for me to give you the last 2, so I guess I'll just take the whole thing here.
Go ahead.
Jeff Kendrick gets 11th, 12th to Matt Hoos, and those are the 12 drivers that took the green flag. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we have any interviews yet. Sean, who do you want to talk to?
You know what? Let's go ahead and talk to our winner, J.R. Shepard. J.R., I think I've said this before, but winning never gets old, does it, buddy?
No, it doesn't. But man, I think a lot of guys had some bad luck tonight. I know. I don't know what all happened in the race, but I know Matt Hoos went out early. So yeah, it was disappointing that we didn't have more side-by-side racing. I was really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? The lack of any caution flags, I think it kind of bit you like the first 2 races did tonight. Really never allowed any restarts or any chance for any rubber to get laid down up in that top group.
No, it didn't. You know, with everything that happened on the track tonight, I expected the cautions to come out, and they just weren't flying. So yeah, you know, if we'd had some restarts there and got that outside worked in, it'd have been a really tough race for sure.
Well, you know, I hate to say that sometimes cautions can benefit a race, but, you know, maybe we overrate this just a bit, but having those caution flags does get those cars forced up to the high side. Not only that, the rubber laid down on those first initial laps fighting, it does make a difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially in these SK modifieds, where I mean, these are momentum cars, and at a track like Lanier, I've come to learn that that's a momentum track as well. So you know, you put the two together and get some rubber up on the high line, it really produces some good racing. So yeah, I think we missed out a little bit tonight.
Well, looks like you might be on your way to another championship here, but as I said in the opening of the race, you got to get to New Smyrna first and take care of business there. Certainly, with everyone in Florida on our minds this week, thoughts on next week's race, getting down there and closing this thing up.
Yeah, I look forward to closing the season out, and hey, I want to give a shout out to Donnie. He was really running me pretty hard there on the restart, and I was expecting a bumper there, but he kept it clean, and that shows a lot about who he is. And also, congratulations to Brian Dean coming home third there. That was a good run for him, and absolutely, Sean. Thoughts and prayers are with everybody that was affected with the hurricane in Texas, and then what's about to occur down in Florida.
Well, JR, again, congratulations. We will see you next week, my friend. Have a good one.
Hey, thanks, Sean.
All right, that's our big winner, J.R. Shepard, driver of the Ford Motorcraft SK Modified Soup. You have caught up with a man who finished second place tonight, Donnie Moore.
Donnie, before we get to the end of the race, let's go to the front and talk about early on. You started in 9th position on the grid. Didn't take you long to get up to third there. You got through the first part of the traffic pretty easily.
I doubt it was easy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess got caught a couple lucky breaks there, and starting on the inside helped me certainly.
All right, let's talk about your battle with Dean there. He got up behind him. You finally got under him, and I said, okay, well, he's got under him. Now he can start to run down Shepard. But boy, Brian didn't go anywhere once you got around him.
No, Brian didn't go anywhere at all. And boy, those last laps, it was really slick, and he was staying right there with me. I was worried about him. J.I. was in his own stratosphere there. That yellow flag made it a little interesting.
Yeah, when the yellow come out and you're slotted to the outside, there's really nothing you can do. First of all, it's J.R. Shepard, and second of all, not a lot of traction up there on the top side, huh?
Yeah, exactly. He was in trouble if I could have caught him, let me tell you.
Well, look, I'm going to get you into some inside information. I just found out that I am the lead commentator next week when we go down to Florida. So I just want to let you know, if you want to give a little encouragement, if you're ever in that situation and you think maybe nudging the guy ahead of you is something you may want to consider, you'll get some sympathy from the commentator. Okay, I'll treat you fair.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, boy. Finishing second to Jay, that's a story of my real experience here. I'll tell you what, congrats to him, and congrats to Brian, too. Great racing with him.
Well, thanks for putting on a good show, and then we'll see you in next week.
All right, Soup, thanks.
Donnie Moore, your second place finisher today, and yeah, finishing behind J.R. Shepard. That's a story of a lot of people's bootleg series career, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think a lot of the drivers for the Bootleg Racing League have gotten used to looking at the rear bumper of J.R. Shepard, but Brian Dean didn't look at the rear bumper of J.R. Shepard all night. He actually spent some laps up there leading this race. Brian, I thought you were a strong contender there for a moment to be another first-time winner. Congratulations on your win earlier this evening, but man, great finish here in the SK Modified tonight. And Brian, you got your ears on there, buddy. Okay, Soup, we're not getting that microphone to come through. We'll give Brian just a minute. Hopefully he'll get that mic to come on.
You had a good run. We'll give Brian a little bit of time. Finishing third. Where did Brian start here? Started in that same position, so he was running up front the whole time. He did lead some laps, though. And we talked about with Donnie Moore, when Dean did get passed for second, boy, he was able to hang on to the back. And let's give him one more shot. Brian, you have us there? Can you got a copy? And I don't think he does.
Apparently he's having some trouble with that microphone.
Well, what that means for us, then, this means my wife is going to get a kiss a little bit earlier than she expected there, as we're going to wrap up our interview, our race a little bit that much early. Hey, thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Modified Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more information about Bootleg Racing League, try Facebook.com/Bootleg Racing League. Also, BootlegRacingLeague.com. Sean?
All right, Soup. Now join us next week, you will be joining us next week as we head to the beach one last time as the summer runs out on our coverage from New Smyrna Speedway in Florida. Be there with us at 9:15 Eastern, Saturday, September 16th, for the final round. For the final round in this Season 3 championship. Now, for more information about that and other things concerning GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And Soup, real quickly, before I let you close it out, I just want to say to all the race fans and everybody watching tonight, remember, pause and reflect. Okay, I want to leave you with that thought.
Okay, that's boy. I haven't worked with you for a while, and you've gotten a little deeper since I've worked with you.
It's been a deep week, man. It's been a very deep week.
After this race, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to. Do I do it in that order? Do I pause and reflect? Okay.
Pause and reflect, buddy.
Okay, because you don't want to reflect before you pause, because then you really don't appreciate all the reflecting that you're doing. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. While I'm pausing and reflecting, I may put on a little bit of Casey Lalonde's digital music. I encourage you to do the same. See the screen rather contact them. Download some of their stuff. Finally, on behalf of my partner this evening, that would be Sean Ambrose, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And with that said, I'm off to have fun storming the camel. Storming the camel.
Or the camel. Or the camel.
Or camel. Let's get out of here. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.